What's good, Texas Tech Red Raiders? Hi, welcome in. This is Seeing Scarlet. Y'all know the drill. We talk about all things Texas Tech sports. It's Cybbi. It's Shelby. I was about to say Shibby. That might be something that we talk about, Shelby. Isn't that fun?
No.
We can make little shirts and put that. Okay. We won't ever do that. But welcome in, y'all. We have so much to cover today. Thanks for joining the live. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, do all the things. It's so helpful for us. And yeah, I think I talk about it like almost every week, but we're getting so close to some really cool milestones, which just means a lot more content and cool things for y'all, our listeners, our watchers, our viewers, all that good stuff. So help us help you, Texas Tech Red Raiders. Yeah, we have some things to talk about. We're going to talk about softball, a continuous roller coaster that we have, but some good news with Michaela Garcia from Lubbock, Texas. She's coming home, y'all. Texas Tech softball, good stuff coming from there, signing her, welcoming her back. So we got some clips from her. We'll talk about her for just a brief moment, and then we're going to shift into a request that we got from Hank. And Hank, this one's for you. We are going through the Texas Tech soccer roster. I'm talking every single player that's going to be in the red and black this season. I got a little nuggets of information for y'all, either about returners, little notes to look out for, and with our newcomers, transfers, all that good stuff, just so that we can prepare for a soccer season that is going to start in less than a month, y'all. Like it is here. It is soon, August 9th. Really stoked, really excited. So we'll let y'all know a little bit more about them. And yeah, just a brief moment.
Hank's in the chat.
I appreciate that. Yeah, Hank, hang tight. We're coming up quick. We're going to talk about softball first, then get into the soccer roster. And then we got some news today from all the social media, all that good stuff of the Hall of Fame class for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Some really cool names to be mentioned there. So we'll give y'all a little insight on that. And I think that'll take us throughout the entire show. Shelby, let's get into it. Texas Tech softball, bringing us some good news, some exciting news, loyal to the soil. Tell us about Michaela.
Yeah, Michaela Garcia. Y'all saw us post it last night. We kind of hinted that this one might be coming last week for you guys. And sure enough, she came through this week. So that was exciting. But she is a Lubbock native, starred at Friendship High School. And she is a rising sophomore. She starred at UT Tyler as well as a sophomore. You know, call her one of those West Texas players we talked about in previous episodes that gets overlooked. I don't know what her options were, but she chose to go to UT Tyler, which is a well-known program at the Division II level. They're very competitive, and sure enough, they won a national championship with her as a key player in that lineup. And that's who you're bringing in. Another player coming from a winning program, which has been a theme of the players he's brought in. Another player with speed. I mean, speed for days, a very athletic player. The more I hear about her, that seems to be the trend. She's just kind of a superb athlete. A lot of people have said that, and they won't be shocked at all if she carves out a role by the time she leaves at Texas Tech. But just another athletic player with speed coming in.
That's awesome. So super hype. Yeah, and we got a little clip in here too of her. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll show you these clips, and then I'll give you the rest of her stats. But just, you gotta watch the film. Listen, I had to dig, y'all. UT Tyler, okay? So I wish I had, like, stuff from her hitting triples and doubles, but you get what you get. But you do have a walk-off hit that helped them get to the finals of the College World, or the D2 World Series as a big-time hit in here. But you'll see what her style is. She's a traditional slapper, but she has power, too. So she gets going. Think like a little bit of Logan Holloman style.
Okay.
Along a 371 average, 7 doubles, 3 triples, 28 RBI, 52 hits on base at a 444 clip. I mean, it's just, she's done it all, and it's such a key spot in the lineup too. After you get through the heavy hitters, she's continued the streak.
Chopper over to second.
Oh, nice.
And
one. Arias fired up at first. The game went to extras, and in the bottom of the 8th, That's freshman Michaela Garcia, who chops one to the left side. It gets past the Vikings infielders, and Courtney Plochek slides into home for the game-winning run.
Michaela Garcia, who has been the steady freshman bat out of Lubbock, Texas, in the 10-1 win against Western Washington, and she slaps that one through.
It is such a good feeling hearing Lubbock, Texas on TV. Like, way to represent Michaela. And wow, that second clip, you see her running to second base, even though they already won the game. And her like leisure, like celebratory stride would be my full out sprint. Like, this is athleticism.
Yeah, no, you can see it in her. And even that, like, they tried to make a play on that, but they weren't going to get her out. They might have stopped that girl from scoring, but she was going to get to first with her speed. And you see her speed, and I think it's the last clip, how she runs out a ball to, like, second base. She still runs it out for the hit. So she's got that speed there, just a traditional slapper over there. But in high school, she actually hit 11 home runs her senior year. She didn't hit any at UT Tyler, but it's in her. At high school's obviously a different level, but you can see she has some power to her. It just wasn't what she did there for them. But in high school, she hit .521 with a .966 slugging percentage. Cybbi, just go with me here. That's really good. And she had 58 RBIs, 43 stolen bases, 11 home runs, 7 triples. That was all her senior year at Friendship. She was twice an all-state team member during her high school days, district MVP in both 2022 and 2023, and she was selected to the THC SA Super Elite team. So she was an athlete and a solid prospect coming out of high school. She ends up at UT Tyler this past year. She hit .356 with 7 doubles, 3 triples, 33 runs scored, 32 RBI, and went 8 for 8 on stolen bases. You got to run more. What are you doing? She had 7 doubles and 3 triples, so she was already on second or third some of those times as part of the deal there, but she can still second when she needs to, and she was honored for those stats while she was freshman of the year in the conference, and she was a finalist for freshman of the year overall, like nationally at the D2 level, which they picked 6 players for that, and she was one of the 6 finalists. So she's a good player. I mean, yeah, I get it, D2, but she was a heavy producer on a national championship team as a freshman. That tells you that the skill is there, and we'll see how she develops from here. But yeah, so
that preparation of, being elite on your team and in that conference, and it means so much to know what that pressure in some capacity, what that feels like, and bringing that to Texas Tech back home. What a homecoming, and a really exciting pick, because I'm always gonna love, like, I'm from Lubbock, so it's always so cool to see people come back, and especially with Texas Tech, to live out their next chapter and see how they can grow. So I imagine home crowd advantage just goes up so much more when Michaela comes to town. That's gonna be really hyped to see.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, we talked about bringing over some Lubbock players or keeping West Texas in West Texas, just jokingly. I mean, Glasgow did it from the jump, so you appreciate that. So it's got to be really cool. Her family was super excited. I mean, it always happens with those Lubbock players. You remember when Adley signed, for sure. It was similar with basketball, but they were sharing that post around, and I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of comments on their post from last night. They shared our video of her announcement, and I mean, it was just cool to read those. You just love when people are excited for their people, and you can tell how excited she is to get to be home, and everyone's so excited for her. So everyone go welcome Michaela Garcia. We look forward to getting to know her. We look forward to getting to hype her up in her time here at Texas Tech, and she's going to bring a big fan club to that ballpark. So get your season tickets now if you don't have them, because Michaela might have half the stadium. Just
my whole family is here.
So you're going to have to compete with her. So get out there and get those now. But before we turn it over to Cybbi and let her do the softball thing, people are asking, where's the roster at now? Are they done? They're not done. There's 17 players on the roster. I would expect them to get to at least 20. That's just a guess. Definitely can be a little more than that, depending on what the options are out there. But I would expect 20 feels like the number that makes sense. I think that's how many you're allowed to dress. But I'm not going to question what Glasgow and co are going to do with their roster, but there is still things happening. I can say that, you know, there's visits upcoming for some more players, and I'm living in my dream for it, just like my little caption says, and I'll leave it there on that. So, but yeah, so they're still working, and they're still got some spots to bring in, and maybe another middle infielder type certainly could use some pitching as well. Okay. But you have some really talented freshman pitchers that I have heard, talking to some people, that the staff is very, very, very high on those freshman pitchers. And so that,
cool.
If that answers some questions on some of the roster movement that happened last week that maybe some people were a little bit confused on, with some of the outgoing players being pitchers. They're very high on these freshman pitchers that are highly ranked, and they kind of want to see them develop, but doesn't mean they're not also searching for some more. And so I'm gonna live in my dream for it, and we will be the first to well, I don't know about the first, but we will definitely update you as soon as possible as new players come in, as we always do. So follow and all the things that y'all been doing, we appreciate it. Always feel free to ask questions. Oh, and one question just came in somewhere else that asked about the staff. Yes, there is one spot left on the staff yet to be filled. Until they fill it, we don't have any information for you, but there is one more staff member that Glasgow can fill. I'm sure he's working on that. It's not really anything need to rush it though, so I'm sure he has people in mind, and when the time comes for him to announce it and all that's ready to go, I'm sure he will. But there will be one more on-field staff member added before this is all done. So
okay, good to know.
That's where we are. But
okay, the ride continues. Welcome, Michaela. That's hype. It's I think what we continue to hear and what we assessed from the press conference of just we're here to win. Glasgow's here to win. And
speaking of Glasgow, sorry, I didn't read his quote.
Oh my God,
Cybbi loves Glasgow quotes. It's your favorite time of the day. I can't leave you hanging, and then we'll wrap it up with this. His quote, now that you brought that up, is "We are thrilled to have Michaela become a Red Raider. We love the fact that she is a hometown athlete from Friendship and also is an excellent student with an outstanding GPA. On top of that, she will bring speed, athleticism, and infield defensive abilities that will bolster our middle infield depth. She is the model student athlete with elite tools."
Nice.
Summed it up right there. There's Michaela.
Da-da-da-da-da. Jerry's quotes. Big fan of all of that. Big fan of Hometown Heroes. Let's get it. And we'll keep y'all posted with updates as they come.
Yeah.
Shelby, thanks for that. Cool.
Yes. Now we'll turn it over to Cybbi. Hank asked for it, but a lot of people have been asking for it. I'm excited to sit back and learn. I know a lot of them, of the ones that were here last year, but I am so stoked for soccer season, Cybbi. I mean, you know, we all have our sports or whatever. Soccer's your thing. We always said that, but I just like soccer. I can trust soccer. I think that maybe it's because you take the lead on soccer, so I can just like sit back and have fun. That might also be why I'm excited for soccer season. But I think it's more that Tom Stone has been here for a dang minute, and I can trust what we're getting from the soccer program. It doesn't mean they're always going undefeated like they did last year and winning the Big 12. Let them do it, though. But I trust what we're going to get from his teams, and I don't got to worry about it. I can just go into the season ready to vibe and enjoy it. And after a roller coaster over last month, man, I am looking forward to that. So thank you, Tom Stone. Thank you, all the players Cybbi's about to talk about. I cannot wait. We are so close to the season, less than a month away.
Shelby, I love this for you so much. Y'all, it's very clear, like the work that goes into this. It's a lot. So yes, happy to. Hey, kick your feet up, Shelby. Get whatever snack you got in your little gremlin corner. Oh, yeah, the Olipop.
If you'd like to sponsor us.
Thank you, Tom Stone, for helping my girl out, Shelby. So, yes, let's get into it. What I have here for y'all is the full roster. I'm every single player. I went through today and wrote a little blurb if they are returning, if they're new, some things to look out for, and maybe some like jargon and language that not everybody knows. So I'll try to define those here and there. But I think what this project has taught me is hoping that I have all the information, but maybe I don't. Or if I leave anybody out, which is my worst nightmare, please tell me, because I'll face it and I'll be better next time. But I think that's just like why we do the work that we do, Shelby. It's nice to continue to, be this part of journalism. So little bit of transparency, little bit of heads up, but now let's get into the hype, baby. That's 2024.
All right.
I'm really excited. We're going to start off with Madeline Mueller, a 5'7" goalkeeper from Heath, Texas. And we're going to talk about several goalkeepers throughout this roster lineup.
Big shoes.
And it's a nice reminder of Madison White, who came into this program in the height of a moment where she was needed, and Madison White delivered for years to come. She is now a professional soccer player. So huge boots to fill is what I think Shelby meant to say. The soccer language, boots, cleats.
I try.
So this battle, this position, goalkeeper, is going to be really interesting to see next season, because we don't have Madison White, who's going to be stepping up. So Madeline is a sophomore. She's wearing that 00. She, from the time that she did play before Texas Tech, because she didn't see much playing time with Madison White between the posts. She's a championship player, and she's part of the Sting Club, which is a favorite of our staff, and they seem to produce really good players, as you'll see, and we love those Sting players. So Madeline has a tough battle, but that's what all of our goalkeepers do. They came here to Tech to be one of the best, and they have our coach Blair Quinn, who is one of the greatest in the country in that position and coaching that position. So the development opportunities are huge. We have a video that we made, I think it was last summer, about, is Texas Tech University goalkeeper university? Because this is where you go if you want to be.
Some are saying.
Is the some that are saying us? Yes, and maybe more. So that's going to be an exciting thing to see and see what comes from that. So Madeline Mueller, goalkeeper. To add to the goalkeeper roster that we have Sydney Obilovich, a 5'7" grad student from Oregon. She wears the number 1. And Sid started her collegiate career in 2020, which is feels like a million years away, but also that was a tough year.
It's a tough year to be a freshman.
It's a tough year to be, period. And so she started her career at New Mexico State. From there, she went to Portland State for 2021, her sophomore and junior year, and she did the damn thing. She did what goalkeepers are supposed to do. She was an impact player there at Portland State, but luckily she transferred to Texas Tech and is now in her final season for her collegiate career. And y'all know by this point that I am all about vibes, and Sydney always has the vibes. I've interacted with her in some different way. I think either at a game. It was at a game. They were coming out of the locker room, and I was by the tunnel being me and yelling at them let's go. And Sydney came up and dapped me up, and I was that I got
Besties.
you.
Besties.
I don't even have to say a damn thing to you. I got you. So Sid passes the vibe check. She's the kind of gal that hey, take me to a national park, forest in Portland or Oregon, or back me up at the club. Either way, she's gonna be 100%. So
okay, we like that.
It's a pretty big compliment coming from me.
Yeah, you got the vibe check from Cybbi, then you're you must be an A-grade human being. So
I'm a big fan of Sid. So
I've seen some of her stuff on social media. Every once in a while, I want to hop over to Instagram. I know that's your domain, but I see her posting sometimes. She seems like a fun person, so I'm here for it.
That's what I'm about. Yeah. So cool to see that energy in the goalkeeper realm. So that's Sydney, y'all. And we're going to move forward, and we'll talk about some other goalkeepers too that are coming in here later. But again, these are the returners.
I have a question for you, which maybe
tell
you
me.
can answer later. But have you fully, and please don't cry, have you fully thought about the fact that we legit have not seen somebody in goal, somebody playing center back in front of her in goal, besides Hannah Anderson and Madison White for the last 5 years.
I know.
We're about to see someone else back there. I mean, there was a little bit of crossover Madison's freshman year.
Yeah.
But other than that, isn't that going to be wild? And we'll find out who it's going to be, but you're going to talk about some of those center backs in a minute. But, like, that's wild to me.
It is,
Wild.
dude. And even from, I think, of a coaching perspective, that's what I would love to know from Tom is, like, what do you do now, bud? Like,
He's had experience moving on from some legends before, I suppose.
He totally does. He knows what's it about, and he's been in the game.
You have a volunteer in the comments.
Okay, cool. Fantastic.
Tech Batman's got us covered.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's what's going to be interesting for me is to see what this team looks like without Madison, White, Hannah, Anderson backfield. So I don't know. It's going to feel different. It's going to feel weird. I'm going to be like, wait, who is that? I'm always used to the braid and,
Yeah.
Madison
I'm excited, though. I'm excited to see who gets to step up. And I
Yeah,
think you're
it's going to be cool.
to talk about some of them. So I'll let you do your
That's
thing,
true. That's true. That's true. All right. Next up on the list, we have Kylie Barr. She is a junior from Colorado. You're going to learn that we love people from Colorado, too. And last season, she played and started in all 23 matches. She is a defender who is so fun to watch because I don't know if any of y'all have seen like a lion take down an antelope. Have you seen that before, Shelby?
Some National Geographic stuff there, but yeah.
Okay, hang with me. So you
Not
see
in real
like,
life, obviously.
Oh, that's true. Well, Lubbock is a crazy place. So imagine that like lion tracking down the antelope and it's able to have the right speed, the right calculation to make the tackle and get that bread. Kylie Barr is
Get that bagel, if you will.
is that lion who I love watching her play because of the way that she's able to track down her opponents and make those tough tackles and key plays of the game. And so seeing her return for her junior year in that strategic, her calculated way, I'm excited to see her show out in this season. Yeah, very steady. And another thing that's really steady about her is her cleats are 99% of the time going to be the brightest on the pitch, which as a lover of the game, it's so nice to have that like very that color differential on the field of I know where Kylie is at all times. I can see it.
True.
So if everybody could get their own color.
I hope Adidas has some bright options for her because Under Armour definitely did. But
They're going to need to.
I'm excited for Kylie. We talked a lot about her last year, like how she just I feel like she slowly became a leader on that team last year towards the end of the year and was really doing everything in that final game to help them win. And just they all came up a little short. But yeah, she's fun. Y'all know how much I love speed in every sport. She is fast, like Cybbi said, both on defense and offensively. Like if she gets, I know her goal last year, I think when we talked to her, was to add a little more offense to her game. And she did that to a little bit. If she takes another step forward on that end now, and you have her and Macy, who you're about to talk about in this episode, I'm sure too. Flanking both back and doing their thing, man.
Dangerous.
Speed. I'm scared for him. I'm scared.
I was debating on a lion or a cheetah, so I'm really happy that you're talking about her speed because cheetah was definitely in the running.
That's what I think about when I think of Kylie Barr is just like, I mean, stone-faced.
Yeah. Oh my god. I watched
right
a soccer player, like a opposite team player that tried to physically kind of bump shoulders with Kylie and did not
flinch. Yeah, because sometimes fast. I don't have no idea in soccer, but like typically, like if you're like a speedster in a sport, sometimes you're not the biggest, and Kylie's like strong and fast. It's a scary combination.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So
I'm excited to see junior Kylie Barr out there.
That's right. Raise the bar, Kylie. Nice. That's the whatever. Anyway, that's Kylie Barr, y'all. Good person to watch out for. Next one we're going to talk about is Cassie Taylor, a 5'11 midfielder from Allen, Texas. Cassie's going to be a senior. And again, last season was a consistent starter, played in all 23 matches last year, and grew so much over the season. I think Shelby and I were texting each other being like, Cassie Taylor, no other words. We do it Cassie.Taylor. And that meant there were huge times where she would step up. I think what I noticed from her gameplay is how she would stay really steady and sometimes a very chaotic point in the game. There were there weren't many times where it felt too chaotic or out of control. That was not a theme with this team last year. And I think a lot of that had to do with Cassie Taylor being that consistency, and having her in that midfield was huge. It's a huge role, and she does it really well.
Crunch, as they call her.
Crunch. Oh, yeah. I was thinking about this when I was writing.
Still don't know the story behind that, but I'm sure there's a story.
Keep reminding me of their nicknames, because there's a few that
Okay.
I remember, but I don't remember. So anyway, so very exciting for her in her next season, especially being a senior as well. That leadership, I think, is going to be huge for this younger team, and continuing to see her grow. So that's Cassie Taylor.
I'm excited for her. She's going to take a big step, like you said. So she's that leader on the team, and she was great last year. Silent assassin, as we called her.
Silent assassin. Oh, so good, so good. Cool. Our next player we have is Kate Leibel, and she's another midfielder. And when I say like midfielder, it's kind of like self-explanatory. You'll see like forwards who play more in the, like, they're going to be kicking the ball to make the goals, and defenders are kind of back. So if that's what I'm talking about. But Kate,
I really appreciate that you dumbed that down for us. I just want to make it clear that Cybbi knows like way more intense language than that with soccer, and she was like, "How can I make this as simple as possible for Shelby to understand?" So I appreciate that.
It ain't even. It's for the whole world.
The ball to score.
It's for the whole world. I want everybody to be on board. It's important. So grab your children. I'll teach them how to soccer, but also how to cuss. So your risk.
Well, yeah.
And we'll go back to Kate. She is a redshirt sophomore from Georgia, midfielder, like I said. And she had her Red Raider debut last season in the season opener against New Mexico. And Kate is one of those that I am excited for, in the way of she's due for a breakout season. And
I like that.
I think she's been locked in. I think she's been ready and locked and loaded, ready to go and see what she can do on the pitch. And so I'm excited for that. Get her on the pitch as quickly as possible. Really, really excited for Kate. And yeah, a quick sidebar too is that our Texas Tech quarterback is dating a player on the Texas Tech soccer team.
Isn't he so lucky?
He's so lucky. He gets to date somebody on the Texas Tech soccer team. That's amazing.
It's the coolest thing he has going for him right now.
That's right. The Texas Tech
love. What a power couple. What a power couple.
I know. Seriously, really cool. So that's Kate. Really stoked for her. Again, I think it's a breakout season. I think she's ready, locked and loaded. Let's get it.
I agree, Tech Batman. There you go.
Mm-hmm. All right. Our next player that we have to introduce is the familiar Peyton Parsons. And Peyton is a forward/midfielder. She played in 21 games of the season last year as a sophomore. She's also from Colorado. She was teammates with Kylie Barr.
It's true.
And I think there was at one point in time when I was tailgating and during last season, and people were talking about Peyton Parsons, and it was just really cool vibes. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was, but you know how tailgates go. But yeah, her performance last year isn't necessarily what you're going to see stats-wise, box score, because of what other momentum she was shifting on the pitch. But she is a person that can be her in moments that you really need it, in that chaotic event, that's steady. She's one of those players. She can score game deciding PKs. She can do the assists. She can have shots on goal. She's really that utility player, that all around player. And when I think of a midfielder and a forward in this position and how Peyton has been playing, she's the perfect person to execute this plan. And how the Red Raiders have set up their offense, she was a huge component of that. So a lot of potential. She's going to be really fun to watch next season, and that's Peyton Parsons.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but Peyton stepped up big time in the postseason, right? She had that assist to. Yeah. She was a part of the game-winning goal, the Alex Kerr goal against whoever that first game of the postseason was. I can't remember. Florida Gulf Coast, maybe. Yeah. And then didn't she have the game-winning PK?
She sure did.
The Princeton game. after
sure did.
Madison saved the other ones.
She sure
so
did.
She's clutch, is what I
Huge.
would say about Peyton.
Clutch.
She's just quietly went out there and came in every time they needed her and was clutch. So that's cool.
She can be her. Yeah, huge moments. Peyton's built for it. So, I'm expecting some more of that from a sophomore. Yeah, or sorry, now she's a junior. Last year she was a sophomore.
Yeah.
So that'll be
A lot
cute.
of juniors on this team.
Yeah, there's a sprinkle. There's a sprinkle of everyone. Loving it. Excuse me. So our next one that we have is Jill Martinez, and a familiar name, another really fun player from last season, a forward. She's a grad student this year, and she's from San Antonio in Texas. And when I was typing this up, I like San Antonio. If y'all are from San Antonio, they just hit different. They are in the best way. People from San Antonio, I love every single person that's come from there. So already a hit.
We get a lot of
And
athletes from there.
a lot of athletes, huge district. It makes sense. So Jill Martinez was such an impactful player last year. If y'all haven't watched yet, she's on the shorter side. She's 5'2". She's playing collegiate soccer. What does that mean? And I always love when I see some of these statistics of, maybe it's height or whatever the case may be, because it allows that athlete to excel in some other way. And Jill Martinez is a perfect example of that. When she shows up, she is so powerful. Y'all, she can strike this ball and it is burning a hole in the net. It is gone. She can really launch them. So it's really exciting to watch her play. That strength is very clear. She played and started in every game last year and recorded 3 goals, 7 shots on goal. And like I said, she can launch it. She can launch it with 0 preparation. You don't even have time to blink before she's going to be a threat. So Jill Martinez, super stoked for her. Can't wait to see her continue her career at Texas Tech.
Nice. I'm pretty sure, I'm 95% it was her that had my favorite goal of the year. I think it was against Houston. First
Which
Big
one?
12 game of the year. It was from pretty far out, as all of her goals tend to be. And you remember
Outside the
that one
box.
that just like curved beautifully around the keeper from far out, and the keeper, which I'm pretty sure the keeper for Houston was a former Texas Tech keeper too, so she knew the players, and she's just like sitting on the ground like.
Oh,
And so
yep,
when you
caught
make
her
it,
looking.
I wish someone had like a high quality picture of that. When you're celebrating a goal, and in the background, the keeper's like, am I supposed to do with that?
Oh.
Like, I don't know. I wish y'all go find the clip. It's definitely in our season reviews that we did.
for
That
sure.
was the goal that I picked from that game. It was one of my favorite goals of the game. I'm pretty sure it was her.
Yes.
It had to be her. She's the one with that leg to do that. I mean, 'cause it
Bend it
wasn't
like
just far
Jillian.
out. It was bend. It was beautiful. It was one of the prettiest, like, top corner of the goal, where they call that upper 90.
That's right, Shelby. It is.
I'm learning. And from far, far out. So she's fun to watch when she gets a hold of one.
Totally capable and lethal. And I remember that goal. And that's like, we continue to talk about her the same way since. So really, really stoked for her in her next season. So that's
I know
Jill.
you're excited about the next one.
I know. It was so fun for me to do this. So thanks for living through this with me. And shout out to the chat. Thank you. Chloe Soto. And Chloe Soto, a 5'6" sophomore from Norman, Oklahoma. She was one of my favorites to watch last year. And I admit, like, a little
President
bit.
of the Chloe Soto fan club,
Yeah,
right here.
very
You're the
quick.
matter.
Very, very quickly. She's a midfielder. I love the position of midfield, and so I'm admitting my biases. But the way that she plays is something that I relate to so much. She is an instant impact where she enters a match and you can almost feel the atmosphere of the pitch shift because of the energy that she's bringing. She's going 110%. I was talking to her mom at one point after a game, and she was talking to me about how fast she was running, like had actual speeds. And I was saying,
I don't remember the number, but it was in the 20s mile per hour range. Because they
Something
do clock
nuts.
that. They wear those things. So it's
Yes,
it's real data.
I
She's
know.
fast.
Yeah, super, super quick. And just that energy. And I think that's what a huge weapon that she brings into her gameplay. And not only that, but in important times where maybe we need that extra push and that energy and that shift of what the story is going to be, Chloe Soto was rising to that occasion. So I am continuous president. Nobody has run against me, so I will remain president of the Chloe Soto Club forever.
I would never dream of it, but I'll be the vice president. I'm a big fan of her as well.
VP, nice.
Got a chance to talk to her after that postseason game, and she was really, really optimistic about the future of this program. So I always appreciate
a good point.
Players that can see it already. So
Totally.
She's fun.
Yeah, she is. And she was the 2023 Big 12 all-freshman team selection. So such a huge accomplishment for her, and especially seeing her resume and seeing that in person. She's someone that's really fun to watch, so I'm stoked for another year with Chloe Soto. That's Chloe Soto. Cool.
Remember the name.
Remember it. You don't have to, because we will for you. Next one we have is Story Sexton. And Story is a 6-foot sophomore. She's a forward, and she played in 17 games last year. Y'all might have remembered us talking about her, and then maybe we stopped talking about her, and that was because there was a season-ending injury. And, dude, it just really was tough seeing her, in a cast, and that I think was obviously with the injury.
Too, I think.
Yeah. And her potential and what she was showing on the pitch in those 17 games was really remarkable. I think when I watch her play, what I think about is how smooth she is on the pitch, and she's taller, right? 6 foot, a forward. So she's attacking, and it was always really fluid, very smooth to watch her. And with that height, I think is such a great combination for her to record those shots on goal, things like that. And really excited to see her healthy in her next chapter, her next journey here in the next season, and recovering in the best way possible so that she can have that full flourishment. And yeah, she's an athlete. If you want to watch her play, I wrote this down. It's like watching cursive in motion. She's again really smooth. Can't wait to see
poster.
I know. Can't wait to see what she can bring this year, because again, when we were watching her, we just knew, this is really special. So Story, hey, next chapter, let's go, girl.
I remember the game that sticks out for me. She didn't score or anything, but was BYU. I thought she was like really huge in that. When she entered the game, it kind of changed the flow of the game and opened things up. And she had a lot of really close moments. She was even like playing because she was probably out there with like Ashley and Alex maybe, but she was playing more on the outside then, and she was still running and spreading things. And I think, just reading your thing, she's probably the tallest person on the team. So not to put you on the spot, so answer it how you will, but do you think she is a candidate to take that Alex Kerr role alongside Ashley Williams and play that midfield / move up and trade off forward type scorer, second scorer behind Ashley?
I think what I'm really excited to see, where I want to see Story exist, is corners. When we get those corners, when that ball's coming off Macy Blackburn's foot,
role.
or Sam Courtright. Yeah, I know. Like Hannah Anderson now passing the torch to our 6 foot sophomore with Story. So I hope to see that. We'll be curious to see. Dude, just the whole thing could look so much different. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably going to be more, because I think the next player is a potential scorer as well that you're going to talk about. So it could be a spread around. And some of these freshmen sound like they had a really big spring. So, but I just thought I'd ask that, because I thought we missed her in the playoffs. I think. Totally. I think we would have scored more against Florida Gulf Coast for sure. Open things up a little bit more. We were just like mission depth when we didn't have her or Macy at that point. I know.
So. Yeah, really, really tough
times, but we're moving on.
Tough times. We're tougher. And you know who else is tough? Is Taylor Zardrewski, a redshirt sophomore from Salina, Texas. Zardrewski.
Go with Z. That's what the players call her.
I know. We do our best. So Taylor. I
think it's Zadrewski, but that's my guess.
I feel like if I say it fast enough, it sounds right. So I just need to work on doing that.
Just DM us and tell us how bad we were, Taylor. We'll fix it.
But in a voice memo, and tell us how to say it.
Yes.
That's what I need.
Those are players actually do that. So I would very much appreciate it if y'all would do that. The more
hey,
let us know.
Love you, seeing Scarlett. Here's how you say my name, idiots. Love you. Bye. So Taylor, a redshirt sophomore from Salina, Texas. She's 5'10". She's a forward. She was I found this, and there's a lot of stats all over the place, but with all of our players. But 2021, she was the USA Today Texas Soccer Player of the Year. And all of that to go into
Casual.
I know, but
I'm sorry, what?
I know, dude. I know. I think we've talked about this before, but because I truly, there could be a stat that cool about every single player, but that caught my eye because she had a season-ending injury after 4
remember
matches.
she had a lot of hype around her coming in, but then that injury.
And that's just so tough, like we talk about. So I wanted to sprinkle that in there because I think it helps add to her story. So yes, season-ending injury in 2022 after 4 matches. And so within that small time frame, she recorded 8 shots, 4 of those were on goal, and it's just like she had a short time frame, but she was launching, like ready to go. And then, in her redshirt freshman season, she played in 21 games, and she was coming in off the bench. And I think that was really cool to see because when she did return to play, so she had this injury, she came back, rehabbed, did all the things. It can be so devastating for a player and a fan, right? Like we see it and we're like, no, God, I hate this news. But Taylor returned and she has her knee brace. There's no hiding any of that. And I was so stoked to see how powerful she just felt when she was on the pitch. And I think it showed a lot of like the work that she went through with her injury and to gradually return to the game and to continue to have that presence on the field. She's going to be, I think, one of those that has a really cool 2024 season and continuing to get better.
You got me like excited because I remember all this about her now, about her being a big recruit. And I remember how quickly that 2021 season, how she was like, you could tell she was flying out there. And you could tell last year she was still getting in the right spots, but she was still trying to figure out how to play post-injury and not too far post-injury. But now she's going to have basically almost 2 years under her belt post-injury.
Exactly.
Maybe even can kick off that knee brace. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, she'll be more comfortable with it. And she could be a big-time breakout. Is there comeback player of the year in Big 12 soccer? Putting in my nomination preseason for Taylor.
That would be such a hard committee to sit
We're gonna pick it ourselves.
Yeah, we are. And it's all of you. So, Taylor, I think, is like a lot of players on this squad. She's on a path to go full throttle. So excited to see her again. With learning to play with an injury and recovering.
It's harder than
that.
people realize, and I can't even imagine how hard it is in a sport like soccer to come back from a knee injury. And so, usually players in that second year post injury are like kind of more back to themselves. So that's exciting. Okay. So excited for her.
Exactly. Yeah. Stoked for you, Taylor. Cool. We'll move on to our next one, and that's Lauren Woodruff. Do you remember Lauren's nickname? Oh my goodness.
She did have a nickname, but it didn't necessarily go with
it was like
her name.
Was it? Yeah. No, I don't know. It'll come to us or not, but we'll figure it out because I remember Tom yelling it.
I learned it like in the postseason. Someone
what is
said
Tom
it.
saying?
It might have been Alex. Where Alex Kerr's mom might have yelled it when we were sitting with her at the postseason game.
That's true.
And I was like, oh, interesting. Didn't know that was her nickname.
The parents of some of these players really come in clutch for us.
But she's a former U.S. youth national team player, kind of like I think Macy was as well. But on the youth levels they played, right?
Hella good. Recruit. Hella recruit. She's a 5'9" sophomore from Allen, Texas. She is a defender, and I don't even want to say she had a quiet freshman season because she was really good
when she was
last
out
year.
there. She's just behind some good players.
She was behind some really good players, but when she played in her 13 games, she was playing in huge matches like Big 12 semis, the second round of the NCAA tournament. Like the coaching staff trusting Lauren to be in those really key moments as a freshman, I think is such a clear, intentional message of like, okay, get ready. The show starts now, and Lauren rising to that occasion. And I think with all of the younger players, there's, areas where you hope to see them grow. And I think with Lauren, every match we were able to see some kind of improvement in that direction. So I'm really excited for her to continue to grow and have that progression. And so, going into
I believe her nickname is Lou, by the way.
Lou?
I'm just looking up Instagram comments and just looked at what the other teammates were calling her. They're all saying Lou or Lewis.
Lou?
So there you go.
Lou. Okay, I think it was maybe I was getting it wrong the whole time because I was
Lou is what I
different.
remember now that I say it out loud. So there you go.
Cool. Okay, Lou. Anyway, that's Lauren. Look out for her.
It's my investigative journalism for you.
I appreciate it. We got to do a lot of that on this show. I'm really, really stoked for Lauren. So when she was in, she was great. Can't wait to see more minutes next season.
Yeah, she had. I always get the games mixed up, but one of those postseason games. Did they play 3 postseason games? How many did they play? But anyway, she had big moments in one of them. I remember which one. I can't remember which one, but I remember sitting next to some people and being like, like Lauren's having a game out here. So yeah.
When we had people that had injuries or had to shift, she was ready to step up. So really, really stoked for her. Our next one we have is Clara Witten, and she's a sophomore from Heath, Texas, same as Madeline Mueller. And I was reading up on this. She has a lot of family members that have direct ties to Texas Tech, went to Texas Tech.
Okay.
So the Red Raider life, she knows it. It's in the dirt. She understands. And I think she's another, from a family where I got to interact with them at a tailgate, and hearing them talk about her and things along those lines just kind of reiterate the things that we see and observe from her. And with Clara, what I think you're going to find from this player is she doesn't settle. She has that drive. She has that hunger to continue to be better, and she's ready at any moment's notice when her name is called. So I honestly, Shelby, have put her kind of on the watch list for one of my dark horses of the 2024 season. I believe that she's going to be coming in with the hunger, that drive that's going to be really undeniable, and she's going to have a really great season. I'm excited. Let's see what she's got, but that's going to be maybe on my watch list of a dark horse this season.
I'm marking it down. Okay. I remember you talking about her a few times last year, and every time she got out there, you'd be like, "That girl's good."
Yeah, she's tough. She's out there to win, and there's no questioning that. It is so clear.
Yeah. And I'm gonna preview this next one on the list by saying it's finally official. Shelby's been asking for all those episodes earlier in the year when we kept seeing hints that maybe Elise Anderson, who was honored as a senior last year, maybe she was going to use that 5th year and come back, that we were like, one more year. Last year at senior day, she seems to be taking that one more year. So let people know I'm really excited about this. This is, I don't know how they conned her into it. I'm kidding. I'm sure she wanted to, but they convinced her to come back. This is big. This is really important, I think, to this team's chances. When you factor in all the factors at play with the roster and players coming back from injury and all that. So
you couldn't be more right. And that's with Elise Anderson. And it's almost like a sigh of relief in some ways to know that, yes, we're going to have some really key, impactful players that are coming back in huge roles. And Elise Anderson, a grad student from Southlake, Texas, a defender, she stepped up so big last year and would feed the beast that were our forwards in assists. She was so calculated, such a really fun student of the game. When you watch her play, it is so clear that she's out there playing chess, y'all. And I think Shelby, yes, it was so nice to see her come back. It was a little bit of a cliffhanger, if you will.
We were sure.
We were curious.
I appreciate that she didn't make a big deal about it and didn't even announce it. That's
true.
Soccer for you. All these other sports, they would have done a whole flipping thing, and she's just like, no, I'm on the roster, so.
Totally.
I'm
yes. Here. I think, you're totally right. That leadership, I think, is going to be really valuable with a lot of these players. And I saw her in one of the Adidas uniform videos, and she was the first person in the clip, and I was like, yes, just another reminder that Elise is back again, and we're really excited. So Elise is the player you want to watch in a way of she's going to be serving the most beautiful assists. They're just so perfectly placed. But I think she's also really fun to watch when she doesn't have the ball, because you will notice what type of chess moves she's calculating in her head well before they happen, and she puts herself in that position to, you know, be threatening either with a shot on goal or to feed another player to live out that potential. So really, really stoked for Elise to be back. Shelby is too.
I really like
another
player with speed that fits this system. I don't know. We've all like tried to figure out what the heck their system is. It's different than what other people run. They don't run like a normal, from what I understand, formation, the way that our outside backs get up and are so offensive.
Yep.
And God, I mean, it's like her assist rate. Is that a thing in soccer like it is in basketball, where it's like the rate like per minutes in the game like has to be insane? Like the percentage of minutes that she plays and assists while she's on the pitch is crazy. She came in off the bench last year and was like, there you go.
Okay, here you go.
They're getting into the box. So
here you go.
I'm really, really hyped. Shout out JR. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words.
Thanks, JR.
Glad you're catching the episode as well.
You all do a great job.
We try.
I
It's
love
soccer
words of
season.
affirmation. It is.
It's coming.
It's here. Less than a month away. And we are still maybe around halfway through the roster.
Next on the list, I was the president of this one's fan club last year.
Yeah.
Our Swiss Army knife. Oh,
The
Molly Skurzinski. I'll let Cybbi tell you why she's good at soccer.
I can't
novice
wait.
soccer fan, just watched her and was like, she's really good at soccer. I like what
don't-
she does the dirty work.
Yeah.
Even in the postseason, she was like eking up and like way more offensive than we've ever seen her and all that. I'm like, I need more of that, Molly. Let's go. Like whatever they needed from her, she was ready to go. So
Exactly.
fun player.
You did such a good job. I don't even want to say anything more. But yeah, Molly is a junior from Colorado, a 5'8" defender. She appeared and started in all 23 games. And a lot of what Shelby was saying, and just being that one of those players that can be trusted with the midfield. Tom talks about that. She is tough. She's a tough defender, a constant, and really, all around player. She recorded 11. She helped Tech's defense, which was such a huge thing, y'all, with Madison White, Hannah Anderson, all that good stuff. She was part of that legacy and part of that huge defense that only allowed 11 goals in 23 matches last season.
Wild numbers.
So she was there. She was a menace to anybody trying to get the ball past her. But she has an opportunity for a really fun season this year, and it's nice to know, seeing that she's returning and continuing to be a straight up athlete on the pitch. Molly Skurzinski, yes. Junior from Colorado. She coming back. Let's do it again.
All those Colorado players. And
We love
then this next one, I know y'all know the name. Fun one. Little
True.
flare out there.
That
Let 'em
is.
know, Cybbi.
Yeah, a little.
Flare. It's a little flare.
It is so fun to talk about Sam Courtright. And Sam Courtright, a freshman last year, had just a outstanding performance as a Texas Tech Red Raider, a 5'8" midfielder from Dallas, and she's been serving us some like legendary type shit, y'all, and it's been amazing watching her play. She is crafty, she's cheeky with the ball handling that she has. She's earned the 2023 Top Drawer Freshman All-American, 2023 Big 12 Freshman of the Year,
Big stuff.
2023 Big 12 Freshman of the Year. That's
She was
it.
also on first team Big 12 as a freshman.
I mean, we could spend a lot of this episode talking about all of her
Long list.
achievements. And she's recently consistently being on the roster for the U20 U.S. new youth national team. So she's playing in one of the best programs in the world, and for one of the best programs in the world, and really, really stoked for Sam. It might mean that we might not see as much Sam as we want to. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of questions. We'll see what the schedule.
I did read something about that, right? So if she makes the team. It feels like that's happening, but they still have to put the final team out there. I think she's with them right now, right, for their final camp. I believe it's end of August through September 22nd is when it runs.
Yeah.
I did see that they're going to allow the players on the U20 team to be with their college teams to start camp. So I think she might be back in Lubbock for the first couple of weeks of August.
Okay.
And then if she makes this team, be taken away. So there's a chance she could play in the first game.
Cool.
Because they said they're going to let them play in a game or two if the schedule. I hope she gets to play in 2 games because that would mean because we have a big matchup with Penn State on the road. So it would be cool if we could keep her for the opener against Denver and then Penn State. But I don't know the timeline on when they have to travel out. But there's a chance you'll see her before she leaves. Again, if she makes a team. I don't want to jinx her, but
That's true.
I think there's still a few more that they have to cut down, and we'll see.
Yeah.
But if she is on that, yeah, she'll probably miss about 3 or 4 Big 12 games. But you talked about all those midfielders that are waiting for their time.
They're ready.
They're about to get to step up and take her spot. So we'll be all right. But it's good problems to have for sure.
Oh, yeah, really, really cool to see and to have, Sam Courtright represent what it means to be a Red Raider on a global scale. So that energy, that spirit that she brings to the game, it was always so fun to watch her play because it was so, y'all, you're talking about like silly tricks on the pitch. She's doing it to them.
2 rainbow flicks. 2 in the same season.
Literally, when she would get the ball, sometimes I wouldn't even look at her. I would look at Tom and be like, "You're gonna let this happen?" And he would talk about all season. He's like, "I love this shit."
You remember that moment we talked about? It was the game about the player we're about to talk about right after we lost Macy, and it was like there's this clear shift of like trying to get more out of Sam, and we posted that clip where you can hear Tom yelling at her like, "We need more, do more, like be you, Sam, be you." Sam. I think is what he said. Because like the possession before, she had a chance to go at a defender and do her silly shit that you just talked about, and she was like a good teammate and just passed it off, which is fine, and that she can pass it too. But when Sam Courtright's one-on-one with someone, you want her to do silly shit and take a shot, like because she's capable of it, and so it's just cool. And then the very next time down, she comes down and does some silly shit and like gets off a shot that almost goes in. So anyway, it was a cool moment of the season. I remember last year.
So many cool moments with Sam, and there will be continuous cool moments of Sam. It just might be in the red, white, and blue instead of the scarlet and black.
You'll see her at some point.
But you'll see her at some point. So yeah, huge Sam Courtright fans. Again, another really cool parent too. Got to meet Sam's dad. Big fan of our parents too on the team. Yeah, that's Sam Courtright. Watch if you want to see how international soccer that experience can translate to the collegiate realm of things. And yeah, really, really excited for her and her continuous achievements and what she'll bring to the season. So exciting for Sam Courtright. Also a really, really exciting player to watch this season, Macy Blackburn. I'm going to say that again. Macy Blackburn returning this season, a redshirt junior from Keller, Texas. She's a 5'7" defender. And Macy last season was on absolute fire.
Doesn't even cover
you can't extinguish Macy Blackburn
I'm talking
at all
like
with anything.
Player of the year level
like,
stuff in the whole NCAA.
Unreal.
She was an All-American, and she didn't even finish the season. That's how good her stats were when she went down. They were like, I don't care. She's still an All-American.
She earned it in the
She's one of my favorite players to watch in any sport on campus. She's just fun.
She is so fun. She's really, really good, y'all. I mean, when we're talking about Texas Tech soccer, especially when we're talking about Texas Tech soccer last season, there was never a time where we weren't mentioning Macy Blackburn. She's a name to know and someone to look forward to. But last season, she started all 15 matches that she played in before, you guessed it, y'all, a season-ending injury. We hate them, but she has been, Tom has talked about her being one of the most dangerous outside backs in the country. I love the word choice because everything about Macy Blackburn and her play style is dangerous to you as a defender, to you as on offense, to you as a goalkeeper, to you as a coach. Just you don't want to be looking at Macy Blackburn if she's on the other team. And in those 15 matches that she did play, she had 2 goals, 11 assists. She steps up in huge moments. She's taken PKs. She can deliver the ball with perfect placement. She's everywhere. She's an elite soccer player, and we have been cheering her on from the jump. We continue to cheer her on, and getting through this injury and that journey. And really, really stoked for Macy Blackburn, her comeback season. It's been in the works for a long time with her, returning from an injury. But I'm excited to see what she'll bring to the table this year.
Yeah.
But that's Macy Blackburn. I mean,
she's like mentals. She has that about her. I mean, there were games last year.
Yeah.
That she just refused to let this team lose. And she was like, we're not even going to tie either. Watch me go down here, like that Arizona game. I remember that, like relentless. Like she was getting down to the last second, getting balls into the box. Like, we're going to freaking score. Like, no, we're not done. I don't care if there's 2 minutes left. We're going to see. Y'all get your shit together and run with me. We're going to go score. Like, she didn't say that, guys. Oh, she might have said that. I have no idea. But that's the vibe I get when y'all watch Macy Blackburn play. She's relentless. She's dangerous. I love that word. And she wants to win.
Oh my gosh.
She will push this team until the end, and you saw that against Texas. Like, she had that beautiful ball to Hannah in one of the most iconic moments in Texas Tech sports history.
Perfect placement.
On the end of it. So I could talk about her forever, but we got others to get into. But
I know.
I'm really excited for her mostly. Like, she deserves to keep this thing going, because you talk about Sam playing on those youth teams and stuff. Like, Macy did that as well, and she would have been probably last year's, back 2 years ago if there wasn't an injury then too. Like, she's that level of player.
Oh, totally. So, and I think, one of the last things I'll say too before we move on, but Macy's, like the passion that she brings on the pitch too, like some of the coolest photos and moments I think last year from when she would make a huge play, and she's like the celebratory, just like pure, it's just like, I remember, it's so hype.
We keep saying we're going to not talk about it, but I don't care, whatever. I remember the Oklahoma game. It was like Oklahoma was playing that mud defense, doing whatever they could to just not let us score, and we got that PK, which Alex Kerr. Alex Kerr was brilliant at drawing PKs, and then they put Macy up there, and she drilled it, and everyone's like celebrating, and she just turns around, and everyone's like, "Let's go! Like, keep it going! Like, keep it going!"
Pedal to the flow.
Then she gets that goal to Hannah. Right after that, like very soon after that.
It's so good.
She's so good. She's a competitor. She wants to win, and a leader, I would say, on this team this year for sure. She was a leader last year as well.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So, that's Macy Blackburn. Can't wait. Our next player that we have is Caitlin Giametta, a familiar name on this podcast, that's for sure. And she's a senior from Prosper, Texas, 5'4" forward that played in 17 games. She came in off the bench for Texas Tech. And with her junior year, she had a goal and 3 assists. And in addition to that, she had 12 shots on goal. And again, another player, maybe not necessarily that you're seeing all the time or as often, but when she is in the game, I think similarly to Jill in a way of just being so powerful with her strikes. And that showed with not only having a goal and 3 assists, but the 12 shots on goal too is just showing that, hey, if I'm in the house, better watch your windows because I'm blasting these suckers and we're going to figure it out. And she was a name that I would hear before the season even started last year. And it was for such a good reason. And that anticipation of seeing her perform last year and seeing that power, it was just, I wanted more. I kept wanting more, and it made sense, why we took the route that we did. But I'm really excited for Giametta this season in that senior level position, that leadership for the squad, and continuing to see her grow. She's got one hell of a strike, and it's just adding to the our forwards are just so scary.
And I think there's a freshman one that's really good too that you're going to talk about. Like, there's a lot of options there. So
lots of options.
They should be fresh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And our next one we have is Skylar Haas. I'm assuming. I tried looking up that last name too. A midfielder from Colorado, a 6-foot sophomore. We haven't seen much yet of Skylar. She played in 3 games last year for 26 minutes. I imagine that we'll see a little bit more of Skylar this year. So I'm really stoked about that and what we could find from her and her previous experience with her high school. Her high school resume is full of first team, all conference, leading teams to championships. She knows what it takes to win in that realm and what that feels like. And I think she also brings a lot of really good vibes to the team. She seems to support the team endlessly. And yeah, I'm excited to see hopefully some more minutes from Skylar this season, but she seems to be one of a key components with the Red Raider team in general. And we'll see that hopefully out on the pitch this year.
Yeah. I mean, any soccer player from Colorado, I just assume is good. So that's the track record we have. I think, Tech, so
it's the altitude or something like that. So that's Skylar, someone to look forward to, and our last one of our returners to cap it off with. That's with Ashley Williams, and Ashley Williams, 5'7" forward from Allen, Texas, a senior this year, which is awesome. What a fun role for her, because her season last year, it was like the season started, and if you weren't paying attention, Ashley was already 20 miles ahead of you. It was full throttle. Score, goal, celebration. That was one of the first things that I noticed, y'all. If you know the world of soccer and pay attention to that, the celebrations are kind of part of the goal scoring. I think it's part of the culture. It says a lot. Ashley Williams did not let us down last season with her goal celebrations, and we got so many times to see them because last season she started in all 23 games and set career highs with, get ready, 14 goals, 6 assists, 34 points, 51 shots, 28 shots on goal, and 7 game-winning goals.
That last number.
Ashley, she's making differences clearly in all different realms, and that's really cool to see from her too in her junior year last year of having those career highs and continuing to grow and prosper. So there's a lot of passion and a lot of fire with Ashley, and again, one of the best celebrators you'll see in a variety of ways. She's her, and I'm really, really stoked for her in this season, continuing to step up. Another senior that's going to be so important, but her power on the pitch, I think another thing that's really fun to watch with Ashley again is when she doesn't have the ball, because you'll see her positioning herself for the best opportunity to score. She's going to do whatever she can to step up for her team and score, and how powerful that can be. So a threat in every single game. You're always going to hear about her. And just a sidebar, but Tech Athletics has also produced some cool videos of her background or passions outside of soccer. And that's really cool to see too.
Yeah, she's gotten into horses and all that stuff. So, which is a really cool story. You should go check out their story on her.
And it looks cool.
Yeah, she's really that's what she wants to do post graduation or soccer career, because let's get her in the pros first. But yeah, if you search at Seeing Scarlet in the GIF keyboard on Twitter, the majority of our soccer ones, you're going to see Ashley all over them, because her celebrations were key. Such a perfect pairing with Alex Kerr, who was like, when she scored, and then Ashley would do it big. I love her. I love her so much. She has the best celebrations, and I think she sometimes gets like, I think there was a story that like kids will tell her like a celebration to do, and she'll do it like in the game the next time she scores. So she gets inspiration from all sorts. But I'm really excited. She was gypped a little bit, I think, in the All Big 12 awards at a very stacked position there. I'm going to say it for you. She was robbed. I think maybe she got second team. But she deserved to be in there. So, but that's a tough position to be at in the Big 12 forward. But she's a great player. Great player. Yeah. So yeah, big time stuff coming from her final year.
Yeah, she's definitely of that caliber. So yeah, stoked for her in that next season.
Ryan had a question. When will they update the roster online and add the newcomers? We don't know, Ryan. That's a great question. If anyone from Texas Tech Soccer is listening and would like to throw us a bone, it would be great. But Cybbi did some digging, and she hopes that she got all the newcomers. If we miss anybody, we apologize. But there's a mix of some big transfers that came in, and of course some really, really, really talented freshmen coming in this group as well to add this group. So Cybbi's going to give you a little bit of preview on them right now, Ryan, and anybody else. But yeah, I'm sure Texas Tech will update the roster soonish. They start official practices in a couple of weeks. Right now they're having captain-led practices, so you'd think that they would have that updated here soon, probably by media day, which is usually the first day of practice. So I bet maybe in a couple of weeks, Ryan. We'll see.
Exciting times ahead. So those were all the returners, and I'm going to quickly just give y'all a quick rundown of our newcomers, transfers, freshmen, things like that. Again, best to our ability. And we'll start off with Peyton Annan from SMU.
We talked about her before.
Yeah, a huge transfer from SMU, former second team All AAC selection defender from Plano, Texas. She enrolled at Tech the beginning of spring 2024. So nice to have some of that connection, all that good stuff. And was quoted to be one of the top transfers out of the state of Texas. Read that from Texas Tech's website. So that's huge. And what Tom said is Peyton is an experienced center back whose skill set fits very well into how we would like to play from the back. She's tough on the tackle and fits right in with our young squad. So that center back role that Tom mentions is where Hannah Anderson has been. So having Peyton, that experience, I'm sure is going to serve us really well. It'll be really cool to see her grow in this new conference, a really competitive Big 12 conference. So that was a huge get for our program. I'm sure relaxed a lot of nerves in some way. So Peyton, really, really fun to see how she takes this opportunity as one of our center backs.
There's a lot of good juju there. Like she's 5'10", Hannah 5'10", both from Plano. Might have even gone to the same high school. Like they seem to know each other. And she comes in and she gets to take over that role.
That's how it works.
And I'm never going to put that pressure on anybody. Everybody's their own type. And she has a perfect senior next to her in Cassie that can kind of help her along. But Peyton had played big minutes for SMU, was widely considered one of, if not the best defender in that conference by a lot of people. The way she played and had some really big moments against big teams. You can go find highlights of her. We talked about her. Yeah. There's an episode where we talked about her more in depth when she signed back around January, if you want to go back and find it. Yep. But yeah, like Cybbi said, that was, at least for me, a little old just fan when I saw that signing, because we were like tracking it when it happened, because you could see the tea leaves. We were like, oh, please, because you just didn't know, like that's a big spot to fill, and so it was very comforting. I agree with that. Like, so I'm excited to see her, and she plays offensively too. She scores goals as well. She will fill that Hannah Anderson flying through the air role. I know. Along with Story Sexton, we need two of them up there.
We need to start our own like Texas Tech exclusive position language, because I mean we could
especially the way that they play in the system, like their positions are not normal. Even I know that. Like our soccer positions, like they don't play the same way that other teams like in standard. Like they're always all over the place. They can I'm like what
they can
what is
be
happening?
Anywhere. It's like utility player. I'm like, damn, they all are.
Yeah, they're all. They're soccer players. Have you ever seen
Red Raiders?
If you go to Florida, this is sidebar, but it ties in, I promise. If you go to Florida Gulf Coast women's basketball roster, they list them all as shooters. They don't list them as like guard or forward. They just say shooter. Like I feel like that's what it's like. That's what we are here is
soccer
player.
Top to bottom, bada bing, bada boom, soccer player. Like truly, it's a really fun team to watch. Tom Stone's got all sorts of different things cooking, so it's really cool. But yes, Peyton, I think gonna fit in great. I'm excited to watch this. Yeah, tough on the tackle, and fitting right in with the squad. That's all that we can hope for. So that's Peyton. Again, transfer from SMU. And Shelby's giggling at Erica's comment.
That's
there.
Fair. That's fair.
I can see them, and they're too far away and they're blurring. I think I need glasses positions.
That's fair.
Erica, that is a really good point. That's why Kylie Barr, bright cleats, give me more of those. I'm almost mid-30s, you know? You know who's not mid-30? Our next player that we're going to talk about and that's with Faith Wynn, a goalkeeper from UCLA, a transfer get again. And I think this news kind of signing the dotted line happened recently. So Faith has been, I think, on everybody's mind. But she played for 4 games. Yeah, 4 games for the UCLA Bruins. The Bruins actually won the national championship in 2022. So Faith being a part of that program.
She's got a ring.
Yeah, she got a ring. Now to get her one with Raider Red on the side or whatever. Right, Erica? But yeah, Faith now will enter the Texas Tech program. Again, goalkeeper position, a really tough job, but having a lot of that experience. And not only that, but getting to learn from, again, one of the best coaches that can do it with goalkeepers. And so I think Faith is going to learn a lot from our program, and she knows what it takes to win. Obviously, she's also been involved with U19 camps with the youth national team. So the caliber of talent is there. Really excited to have Faith here, and a huge get for us. So that's exciting from Faith.
Cool. We have, I have no idea who the keeper is going to be. People keep asking the question like as if I would know. Cybbi might have a better guess on that, but I think he has options, and that's all you can ask, like, in very good ones. So it's good problems to have, and you have one of, if not the best goalkeeper coach in the nation, and Blair Quinn leading the charge. So they definitely have talent there to choose from.
We should get him on here and ask him
Blair,
some questions.
come on the show.
Not that. Well, maybe we can ask that question. Who knows?
We won't put you too much on this.
We're off the rails. Okay, cool. We'll move on to our next player, and that's with midfielder from Midlothian, Texas, Jules Burrow. And Jules, in her time in high school, has earned a state title. She's been in 2 championship state games. And Tom says that amongst all her easy and flowing and rhythmic play, she has a cannon. So
Tom the poet?
Oh my goodness. Tom's quotes might be my second favorite. Well, I don't know. All of their quotes is just so good.
He's been here longer.
But Tom is really, I think he highlights a lot of, how they play. And, I was talking about it with Story, like that easy, that rhythmic flow, but also being strong with that cannon. Music to my ears, especially in a midfielder. So
that's forward to it, Jules.
That's Jules. Jules Burrows. The next one we have is Logan Russo from Amherst, Ohio, another midfielder who attended IMG Academy. And
Casual.
If you're not familiar, that's a big deal.
In every sport.
In every sport. You'll hear, IMG Academy in every sport. You name it. But it's for, really elite athletes. And Tom talked about how Logan is lightning fast. She's extremely technical and can score. We didn't hesitate to make an offer. So it's like we knew what we wanted. We saw it in Logan. Now she's here. Let's get it. And that's Logan Russo from Ohio. And
nice. I think it might be Russo, but
Russo. Sorry,
just a guess.
I'm so sorry. You're probably right. Next on the list we have is Alana Harry, and she's from Portland, Oregon, a midfielder and forward. And she's been on the watch list. She's been a consistent performer at the 6A level. And Tom had to say this about Alana. He said, the thing about Alana is she's a creative, high soccer IQ young lady that can score. Wherever she plays, she has an attacking mindset, which is what you need in a midfielder forward. That is music to our ears. I really like the idea of having a creative midfielder. I think we see that a lot in the the professional game. And Sam's a professional at this point.
What a duo they will be.
Oh my God, it'll be amazing.
I could be wrong on this, and maybe you know the answer, but I think she was an early arrival. It might have been Logan, but I think it was Lana, and I heard she was doing big things in those spring games. There was some freshman that was showing out, and I want to say it was her. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw her name popping up, that she was casually just out there dominating the spring games. So, and that would make sense because Sam was gone for a lot of that, so there was a lot of playing time to be had there.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think midfielder.
Yeah, an opportunity to see different players in that position for, when Sam is not there and what that can look like. So, asking a lot from that position in general this season. So really cool to see that. And to have a creative, high IQ soccer player is exciting for me. I love the creativity, baby. Clearly, big fan.
You need that though, in those games that are in the mud, and you're like, someone's got to think UCF last year, where it was like, well, we're gonna lose, and then Sam got real creative off of a nice little volley and scored, and you need those type of players. So I love that.
That's true. And then that will lead us to our next player, and that's Jamie Elias from Illinois. Played for Chicago FC United, and an outside back who talks about, and Tom talks about this too, but all I can think about is you get to learn from Macy and Kylie your first year of college. Annalise, really our whole squad, even like other freshmen getting to learn from each other. But I think that's going to be huge, and what a talent pool to learn from and to grow from. And Tom talked about Jamie being the fastest kid we've ever recruited.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
on board, Jamie. New fan.
Yeah, dude.
You're faster than Kylie?
I know. I can't wait.
Oh my goodness!
And
can we get them out there together just for a little bit?
But listen,
can you imagine the other team
listen to this, Shelby? You got to listen to this. The second part of the quote, he talks about fastest kid we ever recruited. Her and Logan can absolutely fly. You mean to tell me that Logan?
We got a little double trouble duo.
Also quick. I need it. I can't wait to see it. Let me see it.
Future bright.
Super stoked. Good get. We love the speed. That's what's up. Our next player that we have is Peyton Dice.
I'm gonna go with that. I don't know.
From do we say Louisville or Louisville on this show?
I say Louisville, Texas.
Well, you can't say say Louisville if it's not Louisville.
It's not spelled different. So
you're true. That's so true. Holy shit. That's so funny. From Louisville, Texas. Because I'm struggling to read at the very end here.
I have no idea.
That's true. That could be a Texas thing. That's not the point. What the point is Peyton was a first team all district varsity co-captain in high school. Tom talks about how she suits our system so well. She loves to run. She has a tremendous personality, and another great student. Peyton and Jamie are going to tear it up in the future.
Back as well, I assume, by that statement.
I think she might be in that position, but you know what, Shelby? She's going to be a really fun player to watch.
She's a soccer player. What am I kidding? We don't have positions here, right?
I know. I love it. And I love that Tom talks about a tremendous personality, because that's always what I'm looking for, Peyton. But yeah, I think Peyton too was also one of the earlier ones that we saw coming through our news feed. So really, really stoked for her. Our next one that we have is another player from San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio represent. I love it. It just hits different. But that's with Kendall Jones, a defender. She was a first district selection back in high school. Tom talks about her athleticism being undeniable. She is tough, feisty, and loves to defend. And he goes on to talk about investing into a player and how that's something that he wants to see with Kendall. And I admired that comment from Tom in talking about how this is a program where we're going to take players and develop them in the best way possible, and that's by investing in them. And Tom talks about that and a little bit more of a deeper quote about Kendall. But Kendall Jones, a huge athlete, again, undeniable, and exciting to see her play in that defender role.
Let's do it.
And then for the last piece here, I think we have 3 goalkeepers in a row that we'll talk about. And that first one, we're going to talk about Sabrina Schlitt from Plano, Texas. She played in the 2021 U.S. Youth National Team National All-Star Game, which is a huge accomplishment. Goalkeeper Sabrina's been really fun to watch on social media. She I think was another earlier one that we found out about. So exciting to see her. Welcome to Lubbock. And Tom talks about her being ferociously tough and incredibly committed to training and her growth development. She gets to be under one of the best goalkeeper coaches in the country, which we talked about with Blair. So again, another player, another goalkeeper role, learning. That's what we're doing in this class. Is we're learning a lot, and we'll see who that person's going to be that fills that slot. Could be Sabrina, and it could be Grace Pilling, a goalkeeper from Great Britain. She's been a part of squads that just know that tradition and know that culture of what it means to play soccer in different parts of the world. And with, the UK and being such a hotspot for that, I think is really exciting. International talent is also a huge thing for our program. And yeah, and it's huge. I think it's international play is only going to grow our game and grow our teammates. And she's going to be joined with Millie Elwood, who is also from England.
She's actually, she's from England too. But you said goalkeeper earlier. She's a midfielder.
Oh, sorry, midfielder. Sorry, yeah, good call. Thank you. I didn't have it here in my notes.
I was just Googling it. Finally found it.
Good call. So Millie, yes, 2 Red Raiders that are from England is huge. Tom talks about that too and brought that up, and I think that's to show the caliber of our global recognition. You what?
I was just reading the quote. It was making me laugh.
Oh, what did it say?
It says she's not afraid to speak. That's what it says in here.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I was like, which part? Because it's all really good. But she's not afraid to speak up and organize those around her, which I think is huge in the position like that. So Millie and Grace also 2 players from England, English players. Really fun to see that international pool that we have.
First ever, right?
First ever. That's what Tom said. So that, y'all, is, I think, the 2024 soccer roster. So exciting. Tons of players to watch. There's a lot of these players, too, that we talked about that we have separate pieces for. So go check out our website, seeing-scarlet.com, and find out more. And all of that to say we have Tom Stone as our head coach, Nick Hollum as assistant coach, Blair Quinn, assistant coach. And then we have Charlotte Masters as assistant coach too, which is a familiar name for this program. Yeah. And Bailey Walden as the director for soccer operations. And so those are our coaches, the staff that make sure this team is prepared for a season in the Big 12, defending Big 12 champions. This is the roster that we can look forward to see what magic the 2024 season will bring us.
I'm so excited, and more soccer content. It's going to be pretty heavy on soccer content coming up, as it should be, and hopefully we'll have some interviews and stuff coming for you guys before the season, and then we'll shift into volleyball as well.
That's
volleyball
right.
Starts August 30th, so don't worry. We'll have info in the volleyball roster coming as well in the next couple of weeks, but first, soccer starts first, so we're going to try and go in order for our sanity and get everybody set for a soccer season. Then we'll shift over to volleyball, and then we'll be covering them both at the same time, doing weekly recaps, maybe even a little bit of live watch parties. We've talked about it. Sneak peek. We're going to see if we can do some watch parties with you guys. But I'm really excited for soccer again. Just it's a different group. We lost some big names, but we also returned some big names, and you just heard some fun ones coming back. So yay, soccer. Real quickly, we're going to wrap this up with the Hall of Famers, including one soccer player who is the GOAT.
That's true.
Taylor Lytle was inducted as part of, I think there's 5 or 6 of them, we'll name them off, that were announced to go into the Texas Tech Athletic Hall of Fame. Really big honor. I know Taylor. I remember Taylor. I actually had a chance to work for the soccer team in 2009 when she just went off as a sophomore, I believe. And she's just a great person. I was just a little student athletic trainer, and sometimes athletes will treat you as if you're just a student athletic trainer. Taylor, none of the soccer players did that, to be fair. They were all great, but Taylor was just a really good person. I remember her. And she's a GOAT. She leads the program in assists. So I want to give her an in-depth shout out. She deserves to be on there. There's a reason her face is on the side of those stands at the Walker, and probably will always be on there. She was kind of one of those really first players that turned this program around when Tom Stone took over, because she would have been like a freshman, I think, his first year.
Yeah.
In 08. So, yeah, big time for her. Big love for her. She went on, I don't know how many years, but she played in the pros for a while and all the things. You can read all about it in that release on Texas Tech's website. But since we just talked about soccer, shout out Taylor.
Perfect.
All love to her.
Big time.
Always been one of my fave athletes at Texas Tech ever, because how she treats people, but also she was a fun player.
Cool. That's awesome.
And then quickly, the other ones on here, Amanda Dowdy. She, volleyball player, remains one of only 2 players in program history to ever be named all Big 12 freshman team, which is wild. She's only 2, and was also on the junior national team. You can go read all of her stats, but it's really cool to see her getting in there. And it also makes me feel really old that all of these athletes were from our time in college. So I remember watching.
I
play.
remember this shit.
And Ifeato Okafor, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, shot put, still owns 2 of the top 10 marks in school history, was there from 2010 to 13.
Yep, know that.
Track there, Omo Oswego, again, apologies, 2007 to 2011, 4-time first team All-American, and he was kind of really helped start the tradition that Texas Tech is a dominant hurdle program. You know, you think of Caleb Dean most recently. He started this trend. He's now going into the Hall of Fame, as he should. His coach, Wes Kitley. All I put in the notes was, duh. He's in the track Hall of Fame overall. Of course, it's time to get him in the Hall of Fame for Texas Tech. That was a no-brainer. Shout out him. Danny Amendola, 2004, 2007. What a player on those Mike Leach teams.
Fun
Punt
to
returner,
watch.
fun little player, then had a really nice pro career. Patriots and among other Dolphins, a lot of teams that he played for us. So
That's true.
always one of my favorites to watch play football.
Yeah.
That was before my time as a student. I'm not quite that old, but that was before I was even a Texas Tech fan, but I still loved watching him play. That's how much
Wow.
I like
That's
watching him play
huge.
football. That's big stuff for me. And then last on the list is Corey Carr, who men's basketball player, averaged 3.1 points per game as a junior. Pretty consistent, 23.3 as a senior. And he ranks second in Texas Tech history with 262 made 3-pointers in a season. So,
Love it.
yeah, big stuff. Again, you can go find that. They announced it today.
Yeah.
You can find a full article, way more in depth. And then in August, September, usually, there's a big banquet.
That's right.
I don't know, the tickets might already be sold out. It's hard to get into sometimes. But if you want to check it out, you're in Lubbock, you can go watch these athletes, the ones that can make it in person, get inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's the honor. Some of those players we just talked about in this episode from the soccer team, pretty cool. Some of them years from now could be those same players down the line getting put in. Who's next, you know?
That's true. Who's got next? Yeah, huge for that class. Really cool class. And a lot of familiar names because we were there when they were there.
Yeah, most of these we were in school. Not the last 2, but most of them.
Okay, well, Wes Kitley, too. I think we might have a few numbers on there.
He was not. Yes, he has his beat, I think.
Okay, cool. So, no, that's huge. Really, really proud of all of them. Yeah, really cool memories affiliated with all of those athletes and coaches. Really cool to see.
All right, team. We did it.
We did it, dude.
We did it. Reference this episode if you're ever like, who's on the team? We told you. So this is a very informative episode. Cybbi crushed it as always. Can't wait to do more, and we'll see what happens. If there's more news to come in softball, as we talked about at the beginning, they will be adding more players at some point. You just got to let that play out, but obviously there's still room to add. Basketball is still recruiting. The coaches are putting out great, hilarious videos on the Lady Raider side. Zuri Sanders is doing her thing. On the production side, they're out and about at tournaments right now, finding the next Lady Raiders, and men's basketball is putting in work. See the videos, see the ones the Lady Raiders are putting out too. A lot of excitement. We'll start talking about y'all. Y'all know I'll talk about basketball.
Don't worry about that.
We'll get there when they can. But no, it's happening, and of course, football will start after volleyball and soccer. So let's get into that time of year.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, Red Raiders. Yeah.
Ended on that comment. That's a great comment. We would
Would
too.
love some more NCAA runs.
Man, it's gonna be hard to top last year, but if any group can do it, by God, let them cook. I'm
Let
excited.
them cook. Let's do it. Make their own path. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank y'all, Red Raiders.
Wreck 'em.